Good morning, or whatever it is, wherever you are. Alright, so I was looking at the map this morning. We got New Belltown. Little, road stop out here. Sure. Well, 100, 900? 200 tiles away. Anyway. Already more down in the data. Let's see. It has been kind of nice looking at this. I'm wondering if I should checkpoint something here. I don't need to check it out. Okay. That is in fact pointing at the same spot. So we've got this little problem. Let me tiled. Now I think I have something to remove. Yeah. Right. Or rather to no. Okay, so that doesn't split or output. Hmm. Oh, but the small span is at the end. That second length. But it always shows up at the end of the file. So we don't necessarily know it's going to be one of those as we process each line. But it's at the end. Are pretty much going to toss those, I think. I think in all of the cases where this happened, let's see, I had one of them. Well, I'm pretty sure that one is all zeros. I want one directory in each. 15727 3606. So around here, there were some problems. Yes, those are all at 0. Now, and I think it was some of the other ones near here. Yeah, so that, well, hmm. So if there did elapse a second there, you'd have a different start time and a different end time. Your end time would not be the same as the previous span, so you wouldn't delete the tile. The span might still get lost in start time of the next. You're 605, you're 606. You're like 605 rounded up to 606. Let's see. We're not gonna have any small, easy to process ones here, are we? Okay, that doesn't have it. That's like a that's a lot of stuff happening. Quite tutorial. Just that could be a tutorial. Maybe. Yes, all these are pretty big. That doesn't have it. Okay, so that's the smallest log with this bug. And that's 70 to 70. And I could probably even say, have we fully inted that? Let's see, you're coming from span. Just end minus start. Your seconds, but you could be fractional seconds. So we could probably say less than 1. All right. So right now I'm pointing at the thing I'm running off of. I want to do the small local tests here. Let's see. It's a different KP test, so it's kind of okay. This needs to be restricted. Got got manual resets. Not a double loop. I probably never used you for anything before. 112. 2, 4, 5, 8, 6, 7, 2, 9. Yeah, so one is going to take a little bit to run here. It, it's, well, I don't know how long it was. It's 50,000 lines. No, it's 50,000 kilobytes. So I think where's all our index files or output files? You. Oh, you don't even have an output yet, do you? Well, place might be partly done. Oh, you know what? Are you going to do anything? Oh, you are. Okay. I had turned back on process. Oh, maybe I turned it on. No, it's not pause either. So something's making you run. You're not necessarily the one I need to run. What did I do? Oh, and actually a change in. I think I kept these around in case I needed to use them. It's probably going to be easier to look at stuff with. Now, for what I'm doing here, I'm generally going to have to final turn off already processed. Yeah, well, this line got a lot more complicated. I guess the easiest way to do is take that out. And I don't think this one got as complicated. It probably should. Well, no, these rules are a little bit different. Now, for just testing spans, I don't actually need. These frames should have written all this. Okay, so you only had one span. There seems to definitely be some actual data there. Wow, that's the. Floors and zeros concern. Yeah, data formats are one of the things I want to look at. I think. Oh, right, because all of these files were in there. Okay. I think of taking care of you. Kind of want to that around. As examples. You know what? I probably should have separate windows for this because I'm going to keep repeating the same command over there, and I don't want to. Of course, I often get lazy and reuse the way, but okay. So this is just switching back to debug mode. Which really, I guess tab placement just has real fixes. Well, using that bug fix isn't going to really matter because we don't have that bug. Moving up my. Yeah, that's only if I reprocess the old stuff. All right, as this is where the file formats change. Mainly in, well, final and that process, something writes a seed file. Seed break. Wait, that's how you saving yourself. Oh, seed break dot process turns arc list. Oh, so I reused arc list. Well, that's fine. I want that to change anyway. So I had left this seed for whatever limited compatibility with the old system there was. And maybe that's still worth it. But this is definitely seed B. So it was B in there. Well, we just mostly use lowercase. That's probably fine for calling it out. You actually use that anywhere? Decode is loading it back. Spans use the same thing. And processed is, well, actually, I didn't end up using any of the seed information. So I kind of don't need to do that at all. Really? Yeah, I was originally thinking that if you had a span, it would include world gen information necessary to do it, but in practice, that's all being handled elsewhere. Also, that was only one seed. Oh, well, it was a two-part. Did that actually cover everything, or did we end up missing map? Uh, map. Well, our first ones. Yeah, we never got the two-part seed here. So it was only doing stuff that came from files anyway. Oh, oh no, these are multiple spans in the final section. I guess we were doing two. I'm not currently doing anything with that information. And I think that I ultimately want the generation parameters to run at their own pace. There's going to be code changes potentially as well. Your final placements, other section, map logs won't use that at all. Oh, that did single character replace. Now, use you for anything besides. Okay, I do use the arc for other stuff. All right, part seed, rename, let's map process. Then we'll start times at beginning, small with player IDs. That's output. Can't just delete the entire thing, it's got manual resets in there. Which might be a small point of concern. All right, seeds. Okay. Uh, you don't have C, and you don't have C. Mm, I did. No. All right, so that's another thing. It's in prepping for possibility of multiple servers. Or well, the application needs better multiple server handling, which so you're gonna be base. We do have to separate keyframes and map logs somewhere. Although I guess that could be down at the file level and not at the directory level. So you could consider time span to be its own little thing. See that one? Oh, well, you only exist at one Z, and the other thing exists at multiple Z. I would have to sort out where I put my process list then. I mean, they should be similar. Timer time base. Map logs don't depend. If I did separate, or if I did set those up to be in a similar place, what would we look like? Well, we'd have to rename our process. I think I'd have to change it so that the files we're fetching, well, that gets, then in placement, you'd be like half down to thing in 24, and it's like that map log. And then in all the map log entries, you have to be doing an extra little text file on the coordinates. Yes, it's roughly directory. Processed path. Mm, now, I guess I could have them use the same processed file and maybe only update certain parts of it. Oh, you're gonna have different run times. Any kind of dirty checking. And I've got to be looking at output. I guess it doesn't have to be a single file, does it? Could do like blah, 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 blah. Here's when we processed this zoom level. Now, I think before I was only writing out any of that when I processed all of them, which bigger time step was valid. That's also still a thing. Yeah, I think the idea was that we can load this once. We'll have to save it at every checkpoint, so it's not that big. We can quickly run through, check if something's been processed already. So those could potentially cohabitate. Now, this comes from that process, which is giving us placement path, map log path. Annual resets, feeds. I kind of want to have all the placement data in one directory. The time steps can be pretty much, should be shareable. You could share the Zoom 24 path. I don't know if that actually has like concrete benefits. So I rarely anymore deal with like completely resetting keyframes, completely resetting map logs, the sense I want that directory by itself. I'm wondering if I'd ever want to do anything once I get down to like a time step level. would I then care about if I want to deal with all of these or all of those? So right now, this does have the advantage that, when I'm doing this, I just kind of clear the whole thing and start over. If they were all in, they were both in this directory, I would be kind of resetting some of my other data. Really only a testing. Your base output. Hmm. Well, this is all server specific. It's gonna be like placement on that server. And then actually, for some of like the meta file, like this and this, fans is really common. Would be per server. Uh, yeah, seeds fans are generated in key place. It's been using that path so far. They really kind of apply to both. Well, that actually puts you, yeah, I'm going to change how we pass paths around. It's like there's a baseline. Okay. I could start doing that, but now we have to start. Placement, server 17. An interim thing would have to do something like that. I don't actually have the capability to vary this yet. Maybe I should make allowances for that. Placement path, final placements, you go there. Manual resets. We just read that. So it's a final placement when it's constructing a URL. We just have an output path, blah. Yeah, okay. So your output path is time step. Output path. This probably runs once per server, so maybe that's fine. Are you constructing output path? This is not time dependent. Oh, does I need to extract a thing for tiles, didn't I? No, you did not. Oh, well, okay, yes, I did. Keep playing. Oh, wait, you get, path equals, that's our base path. Output path, time step, zoom. So if we merge it at time step and figure, okay, even though there's going to be some overlap there, Well, I guess it's characters going to be characters, but if I do need to go through and deal with one data set or the other, I want to be going to each individual file. Is there going to be any data at the... Well, we're saying we could potentially do process data at the time step. But I won't. Okay, and then you're reading and writing, and I probably need to abstract this, don't I? Well, it uses a bunch of local variables. Oop. I could have something that takes all the variables. And then why is one dir and one times? Yeah, tile X, tile Y are in slightly different format. Yeah, output path, tile and timestamp. And the zoom isn't... Interesting that zoom is part of this. I guess that's our major top level path. And then I do... Yeah, that's that kind of map log. What did I call that? Maybe I never abstracted this one. Yeah, I haven't abstracted this one. Oh, you only have to write. Output dir. What timestamp? So the map process. Now, I've got server names here. I actually have to do something to do the server numbers. Or I'd have to somehow... Could I actually... just have server? Yeah, I don't know if I actually want to use the numbers in that. I'd still have to have some sort of base path to determine and test data sets and things. A little bit more characters. So what if... oh, but right now, we define these things once. And then this goes through servers. So that would be easy, that would be easy. These would need to have... Well, they've got the log file. They've got... I mean, they'd have to recalculate how server path is used. logs.server.sub. So that is the name that they are maplog file. Oh, yeah, so this is already a little bit specific. If we ever did any other kind of server, it would be... Oh, this is already a capture. Well, like that is the proper address. I just don't want to be doing that in my output paths. What did I do? Because I know I do short codes in the other project, which I don't have open right now. Map. Okay, so one of these is going to be a whole map. Server select. List server. Label. No, that's not variable data. Server item. Server icon. Server display name. Server icon for name. Ah, yeah. So this is very, very, very... That's the full server name. If I had it available as a method, I wouldn't necessarily have to pass it around. This was doing some other different display things. Uh, 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 uh. Well, we can turn this up. So we can say if path.match, it's big server 2, server 1. So we can say, give me the number. Oh, but I want to know server or big server. So this can... do that. Actually, this, I think we can do that. So first we try big server with big server, and then we try server with server. Oh, that's logs, not log file. Oh. And it's probably very similar, but not. Yeah, you're just dir. And maplog note server. Okay, so you guys can get it in the file, and since they're constructing paths, passing down a path to place it, don't know if it has a lot of additional application. Yep. So you passing down to key plane. Which does not have any knowledge of that content. This stuff does not have any, well, it gets a dir. I've been kind of assuming the dir is timestamp. But if it just sticks it into a path. List tile. I don't think I used it, or I just kind of kept it around. Oh, dir zoom index. It only exists mainly for key play. But as output, does dir work for that? Well, this is interpreting as a timestamp. Apparently, I am doing some cutoff stuff. Okay. I forgot I already implemented that. All right, so output path. something like placement path, is actually almost nothing, but it does tell us where to put something. We're doing test directories and whatnot. Server code we can get from the log file, but we've been reusing it as an actual timestamp in places. It's like read index cares. All right, so from a log file, get a bunch of these files are going to be, oh, you're going to be per server too. Oh, right. This all used to be key placement stuff. All assuming one server. We actually do need to remake these per loop iteration. This outer loop iteration is servers. Server code. And then that, no, that's not right. Right? Yeah, server time step. And I've got 2 more instances of this here. Maybe I need to rethink how I'm doing that. So I do something more like, and this is just, actually, you don't have anything else. You don't have anything else. You're just placement path. Which is the same for all of them at this point. And what else changes? That takes care of the server code before we get to here. Output path, the server span, server process key place. Write index, output path, server, time step zoom. Server time step zoom. Server time step map log. Oh, yeah, there's one. Key plane, place key place. Time step. We're gonna do this right index. Is there a reasonable way to combine those? Output path, time step, zoom. I almost wonder if I don't need some sort of master path coordinator. The problem is every path needs so many parameters. All right, so we actually do want to test both ends. This is going to be an entirely different path tree. Fun method for class. So we just don't right off don't match. Cache. Oh, okay. Sure then. Okay, so we did something that doesn't match. Oh, I put a slash in here. I think that's it. Number of argument. 1. Okay, no, it's not replace. It's I only need to do this once here. It doesn't need to be G sub. But that is assuming that we actually got past a correct dir here. So that will actually fail if there's no match at all. Matlog server. Okay, something we need to. So that's going to have to go here, I guess. So we wouldn't have been using any of that. Then we've got random file, that's might make sense. Yeah, I guess this is one of the ones in the boundless world where we left center. F748. All right, so that makes. I wondering if I should even just make those my directories, but that might be a little bit too flat. All right, so this will all be set up by server. We'll have to do some translation, but fine. We actually only have the one data set, right? These are somewhat separated. And I worry a little bit about over commingling them. The manual resets might be a little bit of a problem. I mean, I guess if we're starting up a new server, then build out some structure. So server and data URLs. We need to do something that says. No, actually, map logs are set up so that they always don't care what was there before. So we don't care where splits were. Well, we care if there was a split. No, because it's just a bunch of chunks of placements. All right, so we can almost definitely get rid of those. Oh. Well, object data might be shared between, like, all of the official servers will be using the same data we ever got or for. But that will be another potential concern. I mean, I guess if I had like a path thing, I could just, well, I don't know if I want to pass it. I have to pass it like a hash of things, but that could make it easy to typos. And of course, I've been putting 17 and such in all of my arcs, which doesn't actually tell you what server it's in, but we can continue manually mapping that for a bit. Okay, so this case was taken care of. Oh, now what I did forget to check on that is maybe if I had natural objects off at the. Okay, yep, that. Do full copy. All right, that's probably all natural objects. I don't seem to have reset my time window. Maybe if I reload, that seems a bit more reasonable. Okay, I'm not seeing any glitchiness right now. There was a problem where you'd see like these half a tree tile boundary. Yeah, so this particular case did get fixed last round. I saw something else, but I think that might have been the one that was the glitch with the microspans overwriting thing. I'm going to consider that a done deal. We'll keep that around. Uh, uh, this is separate. So right now I'm working just fine, reading the files, reading the two files, this file and the span. The spans file is sort of redundant with processed state. I did just remove the seeds from there because I wasn't using it. Yeah, yeah, so seeds is seeds. I used arcs as seed. Or rather, seeds as arcs. I still need that it's a definite data set. I still need spans as a definite data set. I end up allocating spans to things, but I guess that's kind of an application. Oh, we still have this thing. So that's an interesting case that I don't think I have anything set up for. Yeah, so I think I'm going to pass on that for now. So map process. That picks a base. Base equals prior log file. And it either merges or it's okay, we're recording the root time in case that changes. We need to reprocess everything after. That's all year 4, which is kind of exactly what's going to happen here. And I don't actually get to test that because I'm changed a bunch of other stuff in the meantime. So it's either a continuation or it's a start of a new one. Okay, so it merges if arc seed. If the seed's the same, there was a prior file, and it considers itself as merges with. So it will be a very ordinary occurrence. For the map to get reset, but this hasn't been published. Could be less common that the changes map doesn't get reset. So that might be a reasonable thing to do in code. That's seed. Oh, merges with. Placements. Right, so prior file. I think we're only passing in placement files anyway. But those are the only files that might possibly file seed. Path seed. So merges with, and that is just looking at seed equals seed with some fix-ups from various bugs. This is different seeds. But they still merge. All right, so what is, see, I don't think I have human times in my files. This actually got processed without the merges, or without the explicit splits. Okay, so even with that map logs, take a So these are still seed changes, but they're not breaks. Fortunately, the actual test, this is going to be some larger files. Now, I used to be printing out actual times with the uh, seed change, seed change. Does seed break get the manual resets? Merge break, seed change. Okay, so that was some of my debug information. Okay, so there's merges with again. So merge break, seed change. So this is specifically a seed change. And then we had that, there was a map, there was a manual merge break. Oh, actually I think I don't need that. I mean, now it's going to sense do it to a seed change. Actually, we're in fact, we're seeing both of those. So that's, if anything, not a manual. But I might want to hang on to that time step. Well, that's going to be the same time step as a seed change, so it's easy to get back. Yeah, so there was reseed without. It's still going to be a break because there's a seed change there. And the merge break is forced by manual reset. No. Yes. This is the seed that's still pending. Oh, actually, you're a merge break also, 'cause that's probably, well, probably the old stuff. The new seed file is an actual seed change. Or rather, yeah, there should have been a seed file for our first one. Yeah, map seed at the very beginning. Let's see, did he start doing this? Yeah, these are the two-part seeds. So he redid that system, left it for a bit, and then we forced a map wipe because we had the animal spawning bug. I also have code that's just kind of managing things here, but I do a double check at. This is for seed changes specifically, and the seed did change. Oh, so merges with wouldn't be quite the right. Well, it does. Does merge with it. But we should also get that, I think. Yeah, that's not a merge break. Oh, okay. Yeah, from the perspective of the log file, we do merge them. But we have a seed. Okay, so that's a manual reset, which not a manual reset. Yeah, so I think if we do this, there's a seed change, we're calling this a seed change regardless. It's not a manual reset. I could start doing manual merges. Uh, 157. 4102,503. And what do we do with you? You say that our current seed is this new seed file. So that is still a seed change. That is still, oh no, I can't quite do that. That is a seed change in the sense that this is a seed log. We have to cycle this. Means this has to be conditioned. That arcs have to have merges with. Or the actual, I'm not even looking at this actual. Um, this is going to be start time. Doesn't look right. 4102,503. This is after we've already skipped files. Oh, well, I guess we just turn off processing. What was the execution window? Can I close it? No, I just had my output up here. Okay, so all of the seed changes are mostly roots. There's 157. Is it possible it's a string? Uh, uh, okay, so these are all, no, okay, arc. These are all of the spans that are in that time window, of which there are many, because that was a long chunk. Oh, +1. So there's the start of that period, and we merge through there until we get the apocalypse. We have to bump these up by 1 to prevent overlapping. But no second is part of two seeds. Right, we could split with the arcs before because you have 2 arcs have the same seed chunks that happen. You can't have one seed that has, or one entry that has 2 different seeds. How much do I use? Okay, so we define it, and then these 2 things use it. I'm wondering if I could condense that logic. Well, I did this because it has easy access to its own seed. That logic depends on the arc. Well, it depends on timestamp. Oh wait, that's arc. That's gonna say everything in that arc automatically merges. I don't want that. I want log file timestamp. That's where we switch over. 503. That merges. That was seed break. Manual reset stop member. Prior and merges with. It's sort of seed break, but it'd be more like file break, merge break, which also depends on seed break. You'd need like prior log file, current log file, prior arc, current arc. And that wouldn't really clear the logic at all. Yeah, and this is assuming that we have this, which gives us this. Well, and we can come along and get the C file, but I don't know that I want to mess with that in this context. That would not use the proper C. All right, now what did I start printing out here? I added that. Oh, right. We also processed all files but didn't output anything. No, it's all right. That should be taken care of. This is more like just facts to keep around. Okay. This is more of a to-do later. Uh, Impression expired. Or an optimization thing. I want to deal with some degree of compression. I might not deal. I don't know if I want to deal with expired objects in data processing. I'm still going to have zeros in the file, so it's not going to save me that much. Or decayed objects. I mean, I guess you could like convert to ancient walls and things like that. For the map logs, I'm going to kind of want it in the front end anyway. All right, seed files. That's not a seed file thing. We're going to leave them separate for now and see if I ever feel like doing something different. We've kind of implemented diff key. You know what? You're going to be kind of down in this level of convenience stuff. And I think we've determined we're not doing this. Multiple arcs. All right, have I... Right, that was actually a fix here. Uh, all right. Is that, let's see, that's the remote index. You have to go up, oh, I have to update the data server sometime. Unfortunately, this loop has gotten a lot more complicated, and this might be the thing that's kind of re-implemented there. Do you do the index? You don't do the index. Or index. This never got abstracted the same way keyplace did. So you write index, read index. File system read. Right. Is that a maplog cache or is that a... No. No, map process. Yeah, that is here. Yes, there's definitely no caching at that level, which you want to. Maybe this is more at the tile list level. Read tiles. Right index, read index. Base tile set. If time, we read that one. So this happens every time. Right, because you need the base time. Oh, that's It handles it, but that's a little. Did I possibly mean this for the front end project? No, this does say specifically map log. We're doing linear process. But you know what? That's only in a bulk reprocess situation. We're doing it once a day. We're going to read one. We're going to write one. All right, so this could be, well, maplog is a bigger deal, but I'm doing nothing on keyframes right now. I definitely don't want to do everything. Wait, is there anything we've processed already? Yeah, 363-15748. Yeah, probably that one. Although in this case, I might want to be clearing stuff. But final placement. Okay, so key plane. And then plane was referring to the format. So one of the points of abstracting this is that we could try out essentially different classes. So what ways could we do this? I don't know where the hot spots are in it. All right, so location difference compression would probably be a big win. Do we have any tutorials about as big? So you're probably gonna have the most activity somewhere near the center. These are all X. That might be, well, might have been about the E front. Three. Yeah, I actually did pretty good with my other one. 44. Definitely seen some bigger ones, but this is a small log. Was that actually at the edge? That's 4. That's where it's like a 44. Yeah, okay. That's something we can keep an eye on. The simple difference compression. Now this is something that we've kind of got in. We haven't done maplog as an extracted thing yet. So we need to be able to read and write this. So, well, there's not going to be no resumption here because we've only got the one output. So So the read write isn't going to be deal. If I was trying to do this in a streaming fashion, a read write would be a deal. This only writes. The reader only happens on the other end. So it's at our here, tile each, last X, last Y. We don't have time. I don't know. Well, we have floors and uses and things, so it's not going to be doing ID. So if we write, oh, we do have to do this. We do this separately. I can still compress between tiles and objects, or floors and objects. Oh, you did not previously get down to details. We just, doing that is actually going to require a little bit of digging. Okay, so that was pre-parsed. For these, I just recorded the key. Well, yeah, floors dot each. Yeah, so this is just the hash map of like just the placement. So it's kind of done at this level. But that was recording a log line. Actually, they instructed a tile set. Yeah, this all assumes you knew the coordinates. And then we just set object ID, which was fine if we were just directly writing that. So oh yeah, you were actually doing some compression too. Oh, that's key. So I actually have to break you back out and fully parse it. Which might suggest actually changing the format if we're always going to be doing that. And then you have to put it back together. And I think the inner part of these loops was exactly the same. It's just we kind of wanted them sorted differently. And we're not reading yet. Make no difference at all. Well, that didn't work. Oh, because uh, that's output placements. Oh, hey, how about you rename things? All right, that. Okay, it wasn't half, but it was pretty good. So here's the thing. Another thing we could do is you do like ID and then all of the locations of that thing. Of course, if you do that, you don't necessarily get as good of location compression. Now, I've just been doing these in hash order, I think. You potentially, you actually want to sort this by like, I don't know, X, Y, or Y, X doesn't really matter here. You would get better compression is all like, yeah, I can do a similar thing. My index files where one coordinate like pairs of other form. That would mean, what do we do for the index? Final placements. Right, that already had things broken into triples. So I guess the only good thing here is that I did sort of abstract the tile format. So if I was not going to do that as string, because we might want to do more advanced processing on it. Would probably be able to get most places that do that. Yeah, so it's mostly XY. And then these things directly those as well. I guess tile would probably be the other thing that maybe. Okay, that doesn't seem to touch it. So if you changed your data format, Okay, I can't duplicate a change in operation, apparently. Now, that key plane is also going to have to change. Because our key is now a pair. I think I can actually just do that to get back to where we were. And that goes through the API, so it's fine. I'd have to have some sort of iterator in here to maintain that same level of abstraction. So then you just come down to this. And now, before it was an array of triples. So you could just sort that. These things are hashes. Interestingly enough, this is almost exactly the same format as my timestamps. The objects we're storing, there's going to be a lot more different objects in where we're probably. I think that's maybe a different format though. So this I just want to do a sort on, which means, which actually complicates things considerably. Tile.floors.keys.sort. X, Y, or YX doesn't really matter. In fact, I could probably just sort this. And then I could even do, well, I either have to break it apart or I have to put it back together. Oh, or this actually lets me use my tile interface. Although I still know what the keys are. I'm not sure I care which way they're sorted. Well, in practice, having it pre-sorted into draw order would be nice. So that would be X, Y. I think I may have done that with the indexes, even though those don't actually need to be. No, I'm not doing any negatives here. Oh, all right, sort's an AB, so I don't get to break apart the bits. Well, sort by. And actually, the way I'm doing this could have been a sort by. That would be a YX order, which is fine for what we're doing. And if I ever want to use that for actual draw iteration. Okay, but that's keys. Oh, right, because we have to... I don't actually use key for anything unless I'm doing a direct lookup. I guess this is already intimate with the format. We only use value once. Okay, well, that was okay. Yeah, that was probably all the splitting, and then the... Oh, yeah. Just looking at my other thing. Yeah, so that gets us pretty much no different. Wait. Okay, 0, 0. Okay, one of these dimensions, if it's actually sorted. Oh, you know what? I was not doing the right thing. I was looking at code that was doing this comparison and trying to use it for sort of does that comparison. So I think this basic sort might at least do something semi-useful here. Let's at least look at one of the. Yeah, that did something. Still 28 kilobytes. Okay, so 2, -2. Jump by 6. Over 1, over 1. Down 1, back 2. Down by 8. Over by 73. Okay, and then that would be like the line. Oh, this is going into objects, which are encoded different. Okay, well, most of it's going to be objects. We didn't change that one yet. So if I do the sort like the other one, where you're comparing multiple levels of differences, I think you can sort of make that work. $23, yeah, not as much. Just doing the difference encoding. So the places where you see some zeros are places where there would be some benefit to putting stuff in one line. All right, I need to get more water. I'll be back in a few.
Piles and piles.
All right. Science time.
Or science.
Aww. The platform is however facing up and trying to balance itself to the floor.
Yeah.
Well, not all experiments are successful.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to slip a little nip there. Just put this iron down. I'm getting old.
They will not act smart. But, mind you, students are students, and not all students are smart students. So there are some students that are not 100% smart. So don't buy into that stereotype. If a student doesn't want to learn, they're not going to learn, no matter what ethnicity they are. Just giving you a heads up. Because I've got...
And you're certainly no space alien.
I don't understand, Saki. What does all that mean?
I'm sorry, Pin-kun. I've known this for a while now. I think I just didn't want to admit it.
She still isn't admitting
your
it.
true origin is...
Ah, there it is! No! Pin-kun! I hate you, but I don't want this to happen!
What the hell is going on?
This is the true form of Pin-kun that I pretended I couldn't see.
So,
Pin-kun was always by my side. And because of...
Oh, yeah.
All right, welcome back. The uses might actually blow compression of similar objects, although maybe even just special casing the zeros if it doesn't work out in general. I also want to try difference encoding objects. Well, if I do object order, I'm probably going to lose a lot of the difference compression for position. So this is going to be like key value yx. Oh, and I haven't done reading of the difference format yet. Whatever we settle, we have to go back and do that. So this we sort of do have to turn into a triple type thing in order to sort it object first. Now I think I was doing floors objects before. No, I had to separate them internally. Plus, you want to always have draw your floors before your objects. But this format's going to require like re-encoding things anyway. I could potentially jam these back together. All right, so tile dot floors dot What does mapping a hash even? Okay, so it's not a specific method. Let's see, we're in here. What do we need? It shift? Is it control? Shift? B. All right, so if we have the hash of 1 to 2, and we map over that, I think we're going to get a key value. And okay, it's an array of whatever we return. Okay, cool. So you lose your hashiness, but that's what we want right now. Dot map over. You're going to be key value, and let's see. I don't want to push. Because that modifies the array. Maybe key plus value? That gets us to triples. And it's actually going to look an awful lot like. That only needs last Y, and well, this is going to be not last T. Oh, what's your format though? I think it's XY value. Nah. Well, as long as these are sorted, we just need them to be the. And these aren't tile, they're actual XY. Um, the object. Oh, I think they'll always start with a number. So this only did floors. Oh, and that never did any difference in coding of its entries. Something I hadn't tried yet. All right, so final placements. And execution window went where? Tall one. Well, it didn't crash. It had exactly the same compression, huh? Oh, I messed something up here. Those aren't supposed to be in the same line. Oh, yeah. One of these is supposed to be last. Which probably won't affect file size much. Load file. Okay, I've got spurious spaces in there. It means we're not even writing our Y's. It's all X's. Did I mess something up where we don't have the data we expect? All right, well, that's going to do it for all of them. Those look like triples. They seem reasonably like coordinates. What are we getting out of here? Just sticking it back together, but it seems like we're not getting Y's. Oh, those are coordinates, all right. They don't feel object sorted. Those are probably different tiles. And those last ones are pretty small. Okay, so what the heck is going on? It looks like we're getting all of our x coordinates. But we're never saying y not equal to last y. Okay. What? Yeah, because that we copied over. I want to last file, so we could see. That was the file that changed, though. And then we replaced all those names wrong. Okay, that's actually different. Okay, oh, and there's all the zeros. That saves us writing a lot of zeros. This might not be smaller. 30. Not doing any difference compression. uh, so for difference compression, you want it to be a definitely not included value. Because we're using that to signal reset. Maybe I need to have a, maybe I need to actually do a different signal for that. Because what if my last value was 0? I want to make sure to do the new line. New line. To write out a Y record. But I want it to be, it'd be nice if it was differenced with the last Y value. Hmm. But we're not guaranteed to have a Y change when we have a value change. Well, let's do the X's and see what that can do. Because those are the bigger numbers right now. And that should be fine to kind of free run. Actually, wait a minute. Is it U minus last or last minus this one? Well, if you're one higher, we want to record 1, I think. Load file. 171. Right, the first one in each line. The negative, and the rest just kind of bump along. I thought I had some long lines. Okay, there's a berry field. And this tile happens to not have very large Y's, so it's not too much there. 18 kilobytes. We were at like 23. The other method. So I might need to have a separate. I need to have 2 last Y's. One for simple difference that we can reset. And one for just the value difference. So if it was the same between 2 objects, you would see a 0. All right, so whenever we update U, whenever we write U, we need to update that. And then you are, well, yeah, because you're actually used there. Oh, and I didn't take out that print. Code file. So those are generally looking a lot smaller. Oh, I need to flip my y's. They're not negative. They go down because that's all the extra negative signs. First, well, yeah, for spotty things here, well, you're only sometimes going. 16 kilobytes. And we want the y is this one. Oh, yeah, that's probably drawing order. But for compression purposes, it's going to be predominantly more negative sign. 15 kilobytes. That's a wall or something? No, that's the floor. Well, the completion of a shape might be on another file. Oh, floors are actually a prefix, but then other objects aren't. Yeah, so most of the time we get a negative on the reset. I'm not. If you had a little collection of something somewhere in a small pattern, then it wouldn't be as big. For things that are spread all over, it's most of the tile. Okay. Now we need the ability to reread these. So I'll need a two-step thing somewhere. What I was testing that on. Okay. Now I do have that code. Letting this open. I think this is all in JavaScript. Well, I know I read the indexes. Replacement. It was like tile something. Placement sprite equals that. Key placement key. Placement cache? Here's your tile data cache. Tile key? Hit tile. Yeah, so this was nice and simple. Oh, so you weren't difference compressed. It was tile log. Okay, so no, so it's the indexes that are like that. The index cache, index tile data cache. Yeah, so you weren't too terrible bad. So that got the entire thing at once. We can go by lines, that probably good. It's that. Else we split and take y as the first, which go on down. And that wasn't difference encoded. I might want to do that at some point because that seemed to be some decent savings. Of course, yeah, because my map logs are difference encoded. This is still a noticeable improvement. Well, map logs may be different. We could try object format. We also have time to contend with. I might try coordinate first on that one. And like a log of everything that happened there. But that doesn't get you time difference compression as much. All right. We are just doing each line. Hopefully that's done well behind the scenes. All right, so we've got some different worlds here. That just guaranteed split. So if, I mean, this should still work. All right, so we have that was indexed by that thing. Tile time. Okay, so this may have been the thing needed. You're deciding what to do with it after you've parsed it. That is a tile to tile. This is going back to these. That's really once you have the parts. That. So we have current value. It just resets it, so in a string, it starts with that. Now, I have some different string operations here. Now, actually, Ruby can just do ranges. So that should be something like I just do open range? No. No. Oh, not that format. One negative one. I think that would have to be length in that format. And I could do, I'd have to do like string length -1. Current value. Else it is a y. So that's actually a little bit. Oh, interestingly, you can theoretically determine floor not floor up front. So as soon as we have that, well, it's kind of cached. Y is part 0. Actually, we can do, in this case, parts dot, is it unshift? No, shift is shift off. Unshift puts it back. And this has to be a whole iteration. So this is now the remainder of the parts. Each do X. These are just going to be strings. You can do map by, do X. Set floor, X, Y. Value, otherwise, that object. All right, did I have a test thing? Start times. Multiple files, one seed, smaller data set. Was key, right, we implemented the output for this. We did not implement the input. Okay, we definitely got something there. All the things by value together. Okay, so we've got these two times, which should continue each other. I haven't looked at this data in a while, so I don't remember. Well, actually, the second chunk was the smaller one. Remember that. Yeah, so you've only got your stuff. It looks like we loaded things up okay. Hmm. All right, so for this might not be quite as small. Oh, why are we getting blank lines? I didn't notice that before. Okay, so the V0s are probably base and floors. No, it's not 4-0, although that is sometimes the way it's recorded. Oh, you're not difference decoding, so things are all messed up. That was not difference decoded before. All right, so y is plus last y. And you are... No. I do... Tile log. Okay, we update those and then update them. So it's more like x equals 0, y equals 0, and then we do y equals plus equals parts dot shift. And this is x plus equals dx. Yes, that decodes all that stuff. Oh, you're a little bit bigger now. We still got spaces. Why do we have extra spaces? So we output that. Anytime there was a previous value. Okay, so we're going to have a y break here. How are we putting out a new line without having a number after? A number or a value? Oh, is this my original files? This... Okay, this one that didn't have any reloads in it doesn't seem to have gaps. Okay, so you were fairly small. Yeah, so it's something weird with our reloaded data. I'm not sure I want that extra path in there. Oh, no, this must have been 6. Yeah, it was -1. Oh, back the same stamp. Oh, was it 6 or -6? No, it was -1. 6 doesn't exist. No, it was 3. Well, it still seems like this has to do with reloaded data. How do we get that? If it outputs this one, it seems like it has to output this. If it outputs this one, it seems like it has to output a Y. Unless this is like somehow there's a nil here and it ends up as nothing. Let's see. Do you have a tile X, tile Y here? So I could say if it's this thing. Oh, the value has a new line in it. So when we're like splitting and doing 2i, we lose that stuff. Probably a convenience method for that. Record separator removed from the end, if present. Ooh. Carriage return characters. I mean, I might be able to do it with like -2, but that's a little bit more direct interpretation of what's happening. Okay. Now we're all together. All right, so I don't know we necessarily need to keep the straight difference encoding. So far, this is good. Actually, I can compare. Public. Oh, geez. 15732. 27 kilobytes. I mean, that's decent. 7 to 3. Now, we are already difference encoding the map logs, so that won't be able to get as much improvement. All right, so final. Key plane is probably useful for debugging. I have something not really, but right now. Ah, yes, the format change. We're gonna have new files. Uh, or encoded, maybe. Mm, all right, so that was, well, that was probably an hour to do that. And this, yeah, and I have to do the extraction. This only has a write on this end. That still seems, well, I could just do write tiles this, write tiles that. Right, that got extracted because I was thinking, well, because I have to lazy load it. Uh, ooh. I didn't have an extra one of those, did I? Okay. That must have handled it. Or passed the appropriate object through. Yeah. So I need, for parity, it might be nice to abstract the thing that's doing that so you can swap it out. Then I need to swap out all the implementation. So we're already doing difference compression. That might be an opportunity to make a plane just for ease of debugging if I need it. And then we have to deal with the fact that we have a time difference. So other format probably doesn't work. I've considered, well, you could potentially still do object. You're going to have even more. Those are things that are object IDs are going to get repeated probably even more and more in MapLog. Breaking it up like that reduces the effect of the difference compression. Although I guess for like some things, they'll very commonly happen in the same or similar spots. Berry bush updates and whatnot. But that will spread out timestamps. Could be could be a thing. Well, even if that doesn't take too long next time, we have to parse all these formats on the front end, so not that it can be a shortage of stuff to do. But it's probably about time for lunch. So thanks for thanks to everybody who hosted me. Let's see, what do we got? That one. That's when it's when I'm usually on. All right, looks like Magenta is working on his bookkeeping application. Someplace cool to hang out. That's someplace cool to hang out. Thanks for hanging out with me. Goodbye.